Hello, hello. So we're going to be starting soon. I'm sorry for the delay. So if you're joining, please comment. We want to know who's here. And if you're a freshie or student assistant, make sure to say hi to everybody else, say who you are. So we have, again, these series, the Fresh Cook series, which are now live. We used to, started doing them on campus, just kind of cooking workshops with themes. And now we're switching to, streaming live on Facebook so that people can comment and still get some, hi, Sean. So yeah, today we're going to be doing some breakfast recipes that are quick and easy. So we're getting into final seasons. Chabot, I think, is starting next week for final. So we wanted to kind of give some ideas to our students on what are some quick recipes that you guys can whip up. And, to make sure that you are studying or, saving time to study, and also making sure that you have good food in your system so that you can, do well on your test. So all the meals that we're going to be making today are going to be using ingredients that are good for the brain. So these are all going to be really cool ingredients that you want to kind of introduce overall in your diet, just so that it helps you really fuel your brain and do well in school. So yeah, that's basically the theme for today. We're gonna also be dropping a few tips as well on how to become an efficient and quick chef, or cook in your kitchen, so that you can be saving time but also make good meals that are healthy for you. So you might be wondering how I'm gonna do 3 meals as opposed to one, like in the other streams. When last time I think I took me like 45 minutes to cut mangoes. And I have the same question, but we're gonna try it anyway. We're gonna show you how to make 3 recipe meals. So we'll see how it goes. We kind of have it, we already got off to like a late start, so we might get done a little bit past 1 o'clock. But other than that, I think we should be pretty good in terms of time. These are all super quick recipes. So if anything, it's just going to be me talking that's going to delay the process. Hi, Grace. So yeah, just keep commenting if you're just starting to get here. We want to know who's here. And yeah, I can't really see who joins. So if you guys comment, that's the only way to interact with you guys. So make sure to comment. And if you have any questions, for sure comment your questions so that we can answer them. We have a couple students that are part of the Fresh team who will be answering your questions as well. So and yeah, and I have my phone here with my notes. So if you see me looking at my phone, that's what I'm doing. So we are going to get started pretty soon. Once I get I got a little bit off balance with the live stream tech. I thought I had it figured out, but I guess not. So we're going to be doing 3 breakfast things. The first one that we're going to be doing is a smoothie. And so I'll be showing you guys all the ingredients that I'm using, but I'll talk about also other things that you can switch for other flavors and, add-ons and toppings and whatnot. So the theme, as we know, is fast or time-saving breakfast meals. And this is so that students can make sure to have more time to procrastinate, because we know they're going to procrastinate anyway, right? But no, I'm kidding. So you guys are definitely needing the time to study. So we want to make sure that you are equipped with some recipes that are going to help you be successful in school. So we're doing a smoothie, and then we're also doing, oh, hi, Kenya, and hi, Anais. We're doing a smoothie, we're doing avocado toast, and then we're also going to be doing some overnight oats. So that's basically the recipes, and we're going to be posting the recipe ingredients and like measurements and all that afterwards, so you don't have to worry about kind of keeping notes on specific measurements or anything like that. So yeah, I have my little matcha latte here, which is something that I did want to talk about in terms of kind of getting your fuel, I guess, started in the morning. Some might prefer coffee, and my preference is usually matcha latte. So caffeine is, it's helpful to get you started and like get your energy going for the day. If you're sensitive to caffeine, I would not recommend like starting drinking now because you're gonna get all crazy. But if you are sensitive to caffeine, matcha latte might be a good option for you. It's something that the caffeine that you get from matcha latte, it's a lot more gradual. So it like you absorb the caffeine, but you don't get like that spike that you get with coffee and then the drop of energy. So this is a great option for those who are kind of looking for a way to get some energy or caffeine, but not, want to get crazy about it. And yeah, Bobby and I are like really, we bond over matcha. So this is like cheers. This is what I've been drinking. So yeah, I also did not have any breakfast yet so far because I'm going to make 3 different breakfasts and I need to eat them. So I'm really hungry right now. So I'm going to try to get something started so I can drink it. And so we're going to start with the, yes, that is exactly right, Bobby. So we're going to start with the smoothie here. And I usually drink a smoothie. It's more of like a protein smoothie when I'm about to work out, but this is not going to be super focused on the protein. It's more like foods that are going to help you really kind of retain information and, get your energy going. So it's going to be a good smoothie to make if you're like about to take a test or, about to study. So we're doing, and these are all plant-based because I'm vegan, but feel free, obviously if you don't have oat milk and you have regular milk, you can definitely use that or just use water. That's also fine. So I'm going to be talking about kind of, I don't want to make it super nutrition heavy because I don't want you guys to like have to memorize more information or like, I just kind of wanted to remind people of the ingredients that are helpful to, get that energy going and whatnot. So I won't talk specifically about how exactly these ingredients help, your body and your brain, but there is, we're going to be linking some information on the comments about the different ingredients that I'm using. And I'll comment a little bit of what I know from these ingredients that I use, but it's not going to be super nutrition heavy because I'm not a nutrition expert. And in the future, we'll probably do a collaboration with our nutrition teachers who we've worked with before. And they'll be able to, teach teach our students on that. But today we're just going to be doing some simple recipes. So we're starting with the smoothie. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball these ingredients, and then we'll put the actual measurements later. And so I usually I don't like my smoothie super sweet. But if you do want more sweetness, you can add, I know a lot of people add dates to sweeten their smoothies, which is great. So that's a great way to do it. But I'm just using some berries here, frozen berries. And this is a great way to save time, obviously. If you just have them in your freezer, you pop them out. And I'm using 1 banana. I'm using some leafy greens, so spinach and arugula is the mix here. But I like it gives kind of like a nice little bitter taste. And it kind of decreases the sweetness. And then the banana, obviously, for sweetness is really spotty, so this is going to be really sweet. And then I have also some fresh berries. This is not necessary, but it definitely helps with kind of just like a more fresh, yeah, so I'm getting time checks here by my team, but so we're just going to start here. I usually do the frozen stuff first so that it like really blends well. So you want to kind of put that in the bottom. All right. And I didn't really do a whole lot of prepping for my ingredients today because I wanted to show you guys that these are quick recipes, and that I wasn't like saving time beforehand. But talking about tips to kind of be more efficient in the kitchen, you definitely, the biggest thing is prepping in advance. So, and you don't like, it's not really like about cutting in advance or anything like that. It's more like just thinking about what ingredients are you going to use, writing them down, and then, also writing them down, making sure that you have them in your fridge, in your pantry. And once you kind of have everything ready and you have it in your kitchen, then once you're in the kitchen, it's going to go more quickly because you're just going to, pull it out of the pantry and whatnot. So, and it leaves less, like improvising is good when you've been doing something for a while, but even now when, I've been cooking these things for a long time, my biggest, the biggest way that I can kind of cook through these things quickly is by planning in advance. So just making sure that, I write my list and I have everything that I need throughout the week, depending on what you're going to be cooking. So yeah, that's kind of the main, I feel like my main tip is just, prepping. And I know it's like super cliche, but I think that if you just take half an hour of your week, like before shopping for your groceries, and you look in your fridge, you look in your pantry, and you look at exactly all the recipes that you're thinking of cooking throughout the week. If you just take 30 minutes, it's going to save you so much time because you're just going to be having everything ready. And even like you can also in that time look for recipes and kind of have all the recipes ready to go. So then when you're actually cooking during the week, you just pull up the recipe and then, it goes a lot more quickly. And with that, that's basically kind of part of what I do for meal prepping. We're going to probably do another live stream just on meal prepping because meal prepping is like, there's a lot that goes into it. But I feel like meal prepping it was something that I did so much when I was a student. And it saved me so much time when I was like going to school and working, that now it just doesn't make sense for me not to do it, because I feel like even though I might have more time because I'm not going to school, I still I still want to have time to do other things like work out or whatever. So meal prepping is one of those things that like I feel like once you start doing it is really hard like to stop, because it's so useful. So that's definitely, if when we do our meal prepping live stream, you guys should definitely join us for that. Did I already like put milk in there? I have no idea what's happening. Okay, so we're just gonna blend this, and I need to check my ingredients here. So I think that's last time or 2 live streams ago I used hemp hearts, and I'm still really, this is one of the best ingredients that you can use if you have a plant-based diet. It's a great source of protein and healthy fats, and so hemp hearts have a ton of protein in them, so we're just gonna drop some in for some healthy fats. And you can also, if you like kind of texture in your smoothies, you can also just put them in after you blend everything, and it'll give it a little bit of texture. So we're just going to blend it. I forgot an ingredient. So this is something that, where is it? So I have these, I have these cocoa nibs, and these are basically coffee. Not coffee, chocolate. Chocolate is also really great for, getting energy and also retaining some information. So cocoa is also one of those things that you probably want to incorporate in small amounts to your diet. So this is a great thing to add to your smoothies, because it's going to help you with memory and stuff. So definitely be careful. It does have caffeine, so chocolate is one of those things that you want to have like closer to the like morning or afternoon. But we're talking about like dark chocolate, not something with a lot of sugar in it. So that's why I'm using these. You can also use cocoa powder, which I have. I should have prepared a little bit more with my ingredients, but I don't know where my cocoa powder is, but it's somewhere. But I'm using these cocoa nibs because this also is going to help you with the texture. So if you want some texture to like bite onto, then these are great, and you can add them later. Or if you don't want to have too much texture, you can add them earlier and just blend it a bunch. So yeah, we're just going to, this is basically the smoothie. I don't know if I'm missing. Oh, the smell of blueberries. Just berries in general are awesome. And they also have tons of vitamins. We're just going to serve this. So that is the smoothie, and this is quite a large portion, but if I'm only eating or drinking this as like my only breakfast, I think I would drink the whole thing. So yeah, that is the smoothie. And I hope you guys try this out. This, you know, there's tons of recipes for like a blueberry smoothie, but definitely don't skip the cocoa if you want that boost of energy. And I'm just gonna be enjoying this as I'm cooking the other things because, like I said, I haven't had anything to eat. So the next recipe we have here is our overnight oats, and this is something that you can, you know, it's called overnight oats, so you want to prep the night before, and it still only takes like 3 minutes to make. You just whip it up, leave it in your fridge, and then the next morning you can, you know, just add your toppings and then eat it. So you know, this is basically, we know a lot of students have been going to bed at like 5 a.m. so you can still make it and it'll be ready for your afternoon snack at 3 p.m. when you wake up right before your test. But really, don't be going to bed late during these times because there's research that shows that you should really only that you shouldn't be depriving yourself of sleep, even if it means to, like, you know, stay up all night studying. Like, you're still gonna retain your information a lot better if you go to bed early and, you know, get in more sleep. So I remember, like, when I was a student, I would make sure to, like, I would kind of have to choose between, like, do I want to, like, stay up and, you know, try to study and put all this information in my brain, or should I just go to bed and maybe, like, wake up a little bit before the test and just, you know, kind of refresh my mind with the things that I'm supposed to know for the test. And usually I would do much better in the test that I would make sure to have a full night's sleep, you know, make sure I had my breakfast, and then I would kind of go over some of that information or some of my study guide, like, while I was having breakfast. So I definitely think you guys should, you know, not stay up all night studying if you want to have a good outcome in your test. Hi, Gia. So yeah, we're just going to and then, yeah, like I was saying this earlier, if you are just joining, make sure to comment on the comment section and say hi, say your, you know, maybe like why you're here. We want to know who's here and, like, we want to interact with you guys. So, and if you have questions, let us know. So far we made a smoothie, and we have still 2 recipes to go. So our next recipe is some overnight oats, and so we are just going to get our ingredients here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just gather my ingredients, and then I'm going to do the recipe because it's going to be less chaotic that way. So we have our oats here, we have the berries, we have our oat milk again, we have half a banana, and then I guess we need a whole banana for this recipe, but I'll talk about that in a sec. I'm using some nut butter, and let's see. And cinnamon. I could use some hemp seeds again, actually. Or let's do chia seeds. Okay, so we're just going to do this. So basically, again, so we're gonna prepare kind of the base, and then it gets put in the fridge, and then after the next morning, then, you know, you open it up and then you basically just add your toppings. So This recipe is like, no, you don't need a stove for this. You don't need a microwave or anything. So it's great, you know, if you have like a small kitchen with, I know there's students out there who, you know, have like a half kitchen. So this is a great recipe for that. So I'm just doing a 1/3 cup of oats here. And of course, if you want a bigger or smaller portion, you can definitely, do more oats. So this is going to be basically equal parts oats to the milk. And what happens in the fridge is the oats absorb the liquid, and then that's how they get cooked. So that's why you don't really need like to put it over the stove or anything. It just does it overnight. So we have, again, our milk, and we're just doing equal parts. And at this point, oh shoot, I like forgot this step. Okay. So what you wanted to do is mash half a banana in the bowl before adding everything else. But mistakes happen, so we're just going to mash this banana here and then add it to our oats and milk. So this is what you wanted to do first, and this is gonna help your oats get kind of a natural sweetener. Bananas, have potassium and other great things to help with brain function. So we're kind of using similar ingredients in the smoothie, which is fine. It's actually, if you have kind of the same ingredients, you can kind of make different things with, the same, and it tastes totally different, obviously. So definitely getting staple items. And that's actually another tip, is making sure you have your staple items in stocked in your pantry and in your fridge. So we're just mixing this, and it's just the banana, oats, and the milk. And if you don't have bananas or don't like bananas, you can also, instead of using banana, you can do maybe a little bit of honey, maple syrup, something to sweeten it. And definitely, I'm kind of more of like a savory breakfast kind of person, which is why I don't do too much sugar. I don't tend to do too much sugar in breakfast. But that is something that you want to keep in mind, is with foods that kind of help you get energy to take tests and study. Glucose is really like the biggest fuel that your brain tends to burn first, and which is basically sugar. But there's a difference on which kind of sugars you want to be eating. There's complex carbohydrates versus simple carbohydrates, which basically means that some carbohydrates, the way that you digest and process them is going to be very different than something like white sugar or processed sugars. It's kind of like the common names for them. So definitely be focusing more on complex carbohydrates, where you can it'll help your brain get fueled, but it's not going to be like a huge spike of energy and then a drop of fatigue, basically. So you want to definitely focus on sugars that are going to help you kind of maintain energy for a long period of time, and then have other great minerals and vitamins and stuff. So this is basically all that you need here for your overnight oats. So you just put your lid on. You can do this in a jar. You don't have to put a lid on, I guess. And then you just put it in the fridge. And like the professionals that we are here at the Fresh Food and Life Pantry, of course, I made mine last night. And so this is kind of the end product. So it did expand from, last night when I made it. It like absorbs that liquid, and then it's all like soft oats. So now the next morning you would just take your bowl and you would add other things that you would want to have with it. So I would probably have added the other half of the banana that I already used for the other just now, but we don't have that. Just imagine I'm cutting half of the banana and adding it here. I'm also adding again some of the fresh berries that I have in my fridge, and then I am adding both berries here. And then I have some nut butter that is also great, a great source of fats, healthy fats, which are going to help again. This is going to be very repetitive, but it's the same thing, right? These are brain foods, brain power fuel foods. And I'm using almond butter. So we have here, I'm doing about a tablespoon of the almond butter, and I love mine crunchy, so it is adding some of that crunch. So of course you can use whatever kind of nut butter you have in hand. And then I'm also going to be doing some chia seeds. And chia seeds are also, they're kind of more popular nowadays with kombucha and whatnot. But these are also a great source of fat. So we're just going to do, that was quite a large amount. Hi, Anna. So she's asking for the overnight oats. Do you use rolled oats? We are using rolled oats, yes. And I have actually the packaging here. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure if you're using quick, like the quick, what's it called? Quick oats that you would do over the stove and it makes super quickly. I think, for that, I guess you could just make the day of because it's very quick. But yeah, rolled oats is what I'm using for the overnight. I don't think it would work the same for the steel cut oats. So that's something that we can look into. But yeah, that's what I'm using. Thank you for the question. And yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna be doing for the overnight oats. You could also add other things. Again, you can add a little bit of cacao nibs. You can also add some. Oh, I just found the cocoa powder. Here it is. This is the cocoa powder that you can use as well. You want to use a little bit though, because it's quite strong. You can also do some coconut shreds, or if you have like a little bit of cereal that maybe you want to add for crunch. You can also, I don't know, I'm looking here. Oh, you can also add apple, cut up apple. That's super yummy. Cinnamon, raisins. So these are all like options that you can add to your overnight oats. But definitely, focus on kind of fresh fruit, and kind of like I mentioned, complex carbohydrates. So definitely, not like, I don't know, some of those like packaged oatmeal, like the ones that are quick to make, they can have a lot of sugar in them already. So I would just refrain from those. Although having that versus not having any food is definitely better. So you definitely want to have some food in your system. But if you can make your own, it's super cheap. Rolled oats are super cheap to buy at the store. We also usually have them on stock at our pantry. So once we get back, we'll probably be having those. And yeah, that's gonna be my rolled oats. So we're gonna move on to the last recipe, which is my favorite breakfast ever. And the one thing that I did prep is the beans, because you usually want to have those already made if you don't want to spend time the day of making this. So I already cooked some, but it doesn't really take that long, honestly. It took me like 5 minutes. And what I do is I grab basically a can of beans, and these are they don't have any salt added. And so I add these beans, put it on the stove, add garlic powder, pepper, salt, and oregano, like dried oregano. And that's like my favorite recipe for refried beans. It's super yummy. So what this avocado toast is, I haven't explained, is basically, hi Grace. Grace is asking, is that for lunch or breakfast? So avocado toast could be anything. Could be brunch, a snack, afternoon snack, or breakfast. I usually end up waking up kind of late, to be honest. So it's usually brunch, but there's like a ton of squirrels outside, like really close to my window. So sorry for acting distracted. But this is definitely something that you can have for breakfast, or as your first meal of the day. So what we are going to be, let's get the ingredients ready first. So we have our toast, obviously, or bread. And I like to use Dave's, the 21 whole grains and seeds bread. So like I mentioned earlier, you want to have foods that are, if you're going to have carbohydrates, you want to make sure that they're complex. So this is like a whole wheat bread, and also has a lot of seeds in it that have healthy fats. So again, we're seeing the same things, right? Healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and then we are obviously going to be using some avocado. And avocados are also a great source of fat. But the twist of this avocado toast is that it's going to be an amped up recipe, because I don't really believe that avocado and toast is enough for breakfast. So what I usually do is I add a little bit of hummus, and then I also add some refried beans. So that's basically, so I add kind of like a little bit more protein and healthier carbohydrates. And then I also top it with whatever I have in my fridge of veggies. So I do usually leafy greens. And then I also, sometimes I do tomatoes. Sometimes I do onion. Today I have some onion in my fridge that I can just slice and like put on the toast. And And then to top it, I usually do sesame seeds, salt, and pepper. And that's kind of like the main toppings that I usually use. Sometimes if I have like salsa that I have left over in my fridge, I'll add that on top. If I have cilantro, you can add that. But whatever you have in the fridge of veggies, like, you know, if you have pickled onions or cucumber, or, you know, lime and lemon are really good on it as well. So those are all great options. The other thing that you can do to amp it up is you can fry an egg really quickly and then add it on top of your toast. And that's the super like great, you know, filled with great vitamins and protein. So the egg, you know, it's definitely a great option. So what we're going to do here is we're simply going to toast. I'm just going to do one piece, but I usually do 2 or 3 depending on the size of the bread and also the size of my appetite. So we're just going to toast that. And while the bread is toasting, that's basically my time to get all my ingredients ready, so that once it comes out, it's just like you put it together and then it's ready, right? So I usually will just kind of have all my ingredients here ready to go. My sesame seeds, and for my, I'll just slice a little bit of onion. So I just kind of have it ready to go. And then so for our avocado, so I don't know, some people have questions about how to pick an avocado and how to like make sure that it's ripe. So when you're at the store, and right now it's a little bit controversial because you don't want to be touching things and returning it and stuff. Usually what I mean, I'm pretty good at eyeing it nowadays. But the main thing that just by seeing an avocado that is ready is that it has to have this kind of color. The more green it is, the less ready it is. Although there are some avocado varieties where if it's green on the, like it's supposed to be green on the outside, so that's, I guess this tip doesn't help with that. But if you're getting this kind of variety, it's usually kind of like a darker brown color. And the other thing is, like, once you take it, you want it to be a little bit soft, like not extremely soft, because that means that it's already gone bad. But even if it's a little bit like more soft than you would like, it's still fine. It's avocado. Avocado is gold, so eat it anyway. You can also pick apart the part that is like maybe a little too brown. And then the other thing, that this one doesn't have it, but some avocados will have like a little bit of a nub here. And sometimes when you take it off, you can kind of see inside the avocado, and it'll show you the color inside. So that's another great way to see, you know, if it's ready or not. And I mean, you don't want to do these things at the store. You want to do this once you're at home. So once you pick your avocados, usually less ripe ones, then you keep them in your kitchen, and then you can kind of pick the one that's the most ripe first. So I usually grab, like, if I know I'm going to be using them like the next day, I'll get one that already looks pretty ripe, and then the other ones I'll get more green, and then throughout the week they're— so with avocado, that's kind of what I tend to do with that. And so, and then I also like the little ones because you can use like one for that whole breakfast without having to save them in the fridge. But if you do have to save them in the fridge, what you can do is leave half of it with the actual the pit inside, because that's gonna help it stay green. So if you take it out, it's gonna brown quicker. So that's like my avocado tips, guys, as a person whose roots are close to the avocado plant. So talking about that, by the way, like, you know, I don't know about how avocado became such a big trend nowadays. I have been eating avocado toast my entire life. I'm not gonna say my dad invented it, but like definitely came from Mexico. And I don't know, there's people out there that think that it came from Australia. I mean, avocado's from Mexico, so I don't really understand how they made that assumption. But there's also another theory that it might have, like, the actual avocado toast became, I guess it was invented like in California, so I think that's more believable because at least we're close to Mexico. But I feel like people in Mexico have been doing avocado toast for a long time. So it's not like a millennial thing that is just for, you know, like it's for everybody. But so yeah, so we have our toast ready, and here's a perfect toast that got toasted perfectly. So we have, hi Maggie. Sorry, I'm like looking at the comments. And so sorry, I didn't explain this part, but what I usually do is I'll take the avocado and then I'll just or the half of it, and I'll just do slits like this and then across like a grid. And that is gonna basically mash it inside of it. So I don't end up having to do it. Like, what I don't want to do is mash it on the toast because that could break the toast. And I don't want my toast to be all mushy and stuff. So that's kind of what I usually just, oh my gosh, hold on. Nope. This is what happens, guys, when you do a live stream and cook at the same time. So the first thing is my hummus. So just grab a little bit of it and then spread it on the toast. So I do a layer of hummus, and this is like a jalapeno and cilantro, so it's adding lots of great flavor. But feel free to get the regular hummus if you don't want spicy. And then I am doing, okay, so then I'm doing the avocado. And yeah, just kind of spreading it evenly. Okay, Sean, I'll let him know your message. Yeah, my dad used to just make avocado toast, and he would toast sesame seeds and just put them on top. That's how I started doing sesame seeds on my toast. So that's the avocado part, and then I just kind of drop the beans, and like I said, I pre-made these, so because you kind of want to have them ready the morning of. What you can do is while your bread is toasting, you can just heat up the beans that you had in your fridge. or you can also eat them cold. So I do some beans, and I'm just showing you one because I have way too many breakfast meals here already, but I would usually do, like the size of this toast, I would usually do 3. You want to make sure you get that breakfast in, guys. It's like the most important part. The most important meal is breakfast, and it's not because it's in the morning. It's because it's the first meal that you're eating. You're breaking your fast of sleeping and not eating for a few hours. So the first meal is gonna really set your gut and kind of set the mood, I guess, for your body for what it wants to eat the rest of the day. So if you're eating like a heavy, like, something heavy with like a bunch of pancakes and sugar, like that's what you're gonna be craving all day, and that's not the best foods to be eating, especially when you're taking tests. So we're just gonna be doing a layer of some of the onion here, and we're doing the onion. It caught maybe a little too much, but that's okay. I'll eat it tomorrow. So I'll do a little layer of onion, and then I just, at the end, top it with some greens. Did people get kicked out? What happened? Okay, well, I don't know what's happening with the light. So we're just gonna finish it with some leafy greens. I usually do arugula, and then I do my salt, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of sesame seeds. But again, you can do, if you have certain herbs or toppings. Some people have like the everything but the bagel topping. That's great for avocado toast as well. And that's basically the avocado toast that I love to eat for most of my breakfast. Sorry guys that you got kicked out. I don't know what happened, but it is recording, so it's gonna be up on our channel or on our Facebook afterwards if you want to watch that part. But yeah, I mean, it's just putting toppings on this toast, and that's basically all the recipes for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We are we're going to be doing more live streams throughout the summer probably, but today was the last one of the semester, so we're happy that you were able to make it. And we hope that you feel inspired and that you can cook some of these meals at home, and yeah, that get ready for finals, and make sure you're fueling your body with some amazing food that it wants, so that you can do well on your tests. And yeah, we're just happy that you came today. So if you all enjoyed today's video and live stream, feel free to check the other ones that we've done in the past. We have them on our Facebook live page as well as our YouTube. And while you're at the YouTube, you should subscribe and like our videos there. We also have other quick recipes that we share with everybody. So this week we're also going to be sharing some recipes that you can be making to meal prep. So definitely check out our YouTube. It's all Fresh Space Chabot. And then all of our social media is Fresh Chabot. So follow us on our social media, and I hope that we can see you guys on the next live stream. So thank you all for coming today. Take care. Happy finals.